కలలను సాకారం చేయొచ్చని ప్రపంచానికి చాటి చెప్పిన గొప్ప నాయకుడు ప్రధాని నరేంద్ర మోదీ అని ఉపరాష్ట్రపతి వెంకయ్య నాయుడు కొనియాడారు. మోదీ ఎట్ 20 డ్రీమ్స్ మీట్ డెలివరీ పుస్తకాన్ని కేంద్ర హోంశాఖ మంత్రి అమిత్ షా, విదేశాంగ మంత్రి జయశంకర్ సమక్షంలో ఢిల్లీలో విడుదల చేశారు. ఈ సందర్భంగా మోదీపై సరైన విశ్లేషణను పుస్తకంలో సమర్థంగా అందించారని రచయితలపై ప్రశంసలు కురిపించారు. ఒక దిగ్గజ నాయకుడి 20 సంవత్సరాల ప్రయాణాన్ని రచయితలు అద్భుతంగా ఆవిష్కరించారని కొనియాడారు వెంకయ్య నాయుడు. మోదీ ప్రయాణం, మాటలు, పనులు, కలలు వాటి సాకారాన్ని అర్థం చేసుకోవాలన్నారు.
हम सब लोग देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी के जीवन और कृतित्व पर आधारित इस पुस्तक का लोकार्पण हेतु आयोजन कर रहे कार्यक्रम में भाग ले रहे। मेरा मन में भी बहुत हार्दिक प्रसन्नता हो रही है। सचमुच में श्री मोदी जी एक ऐसी नेता है जिन्होंने विश्व के सामने ये साबित किया है कि सपनों का सिद्ध भी की जा सकते हैं, सपनों का साकार भी की जा सकता है। यह मेरा सौभाग्य है। इस पुस्तक में योगदान करने वाले अनेक विभूतियों आज इस अवसर पर हमारे बीच उपस्थित है। आप सभी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं। My dear brothers and sisters, I feel very happy to be here amidst you all and also release this important publication about various aspects of personality and administration of our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai Modi. After going through it, I can say these distinguished authors have contributed to this excellent publication in a well articulated manner so as to make the nation know about the great thoughts and deeds of the great man. I compliment each of these writers on their incisive analysis and cogent presentation. They have masterfully traced the contours of an iconic leader's fascinating journey of 20 years. It really was fascinating. I am not here to speak anything about politics. I am no longer in party politics. I am retired from politics but not tired from public life. That's why I am here and I am happy. Amit Bhai, being a politician, he can speak very freely about his party and his point of view. But I can't do it. I don't want to do it also because of my own responsibility. But I have no hesitation. The moment it was mentioned to me that such a book has been brought out and the publishers desired that I should release this without waiting for a minute, I said I shall do it. I'm happy to do it. And I'm doing it today. Because the nation, the people, the younger generation of the country, they should know the in and outs of the great contribution made by the Prime Minister. He is the Prime Minister of the country, elected Prime Minister, and elected each time with more majority. And the country today is happy that India is respected and recognized worldwide thanks to Narendra Bhai Modi's leadership. I had an occasion to work with him politically when I was in politics. I had an occasion to work with him in the administration when I was a minister. And also I have been working along with him and other colleagues in my present capacity as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha and also the Vice President of India. These experiences, they are really very happy sometimes, I can tell you, because it's a great pleasure to meet a person, know his thoughts and his actions. The book is very aptly named as Modi 20 Dreams Meeting Delivery. This is what is important. Dreams meeting delivery. Because at the end of the day, delivery is more important. Delivery to the people. And this book aptly describes the various initiatives, thoughts, his vision, and its implementation and success of those dreams. This is what is more important. Anybody can dream. Some people do dreaming in daytime also. That is the pleasure they can derive. That's human. I don't find fault with anybody. I don't have anybody in my mind. And nothing wrong in dreaming. Dream high, aim high, work hard. That is what even Abdul Kalam ji said, dream high, aim high, work hard. Here is an example. A man who was having dreams about the country and its welfare, working hard day and night and delivering them. My dear youngsters who are all watching this program on television, I suggest to all of you, go through the book in detail, analyze and understand, and know the master craftsmanship of working hard. This book is a rare compilation that gives the readers a ringside view of the evolution of one of the most popular and iconic leaders of modern India. The first Prime Minister born after independence. After independence, he is born after independence. Like some of us. See, Narendra Bhai, however, last 20 years, carved out a unique place in the history of post-independent India. Earlier for about 13 years as the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and over the last 8+ years as the Prime Minister. There is a Modi phenomenon. Even his detractors, opponents, agree that Modi is a phenomenon, whether you like it or not. He is a phenomenon. At the national level, even at the international level also, we are all seeing the reports that a person who has no earlier administrative experience, becoming a chief minister, doing a wonderful work, and then becoming a prime minister, and then in the international arena also, he is recognized, he is respected, India also is respected and recognized. This book presents different facets of the distinct thought process, the pioneering proactive approach, and the quite essential transformational leadership. The style that Narendra Bhai has come to be so closely identified with. He gave a 3-line mantra, and he lives up to the spirit of the mantra. He said, reform, perform, transform. Transformation of the society, transformation of the individuals, and transformation of the nation. Transformation for what? Transformation to better the lives of the people of the country.
ప్రధాని మోదీ 20 ఏళ్ల పరిపాలనపై ప్రశంసలు కురిపించారు కేంద్ర హోంమంత్రి అమిత్ షా. ఆయన నాయకత్వంలోని ప్రభుత్వం దేశాన్ని సమ్మిళిత అభివృద్ధి దిశగా తీసుకువెళ్తోందన్నారు. సమ్మిళిత అభివృద్ధి వ్యక్తిత్వ మార్గాన్ని విశ్వసించిన వారు సామాజిక సేవ రాజకీయాల్లో పనిచేస్తారన్నారు. ఈ పుస్తకం భగవద్గీతల ప్రాచుర్యం పొందుతుందన్నారు. మోదీ చిన్న కార్యకర్త నుంచి అత్యంత ఆదరణ పొందిన నేతగా ఎలా ఎదిగారు అనే విషయాన్ని ఈ పుస్తకం తెలియచేస్తుందని వివరించారు. క్షేత్రస్థాయిలో ఆటోల్లో బస్సుల్లో ప్రతి గ్రామానికి తిరిగిన వ్యక్తి మోదీ అని చెప్పుకొచ్చారు. పేదవారితో కలిసి భోజనం చేశారన్నారు. ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా బాధ్యతలు చేపట్టే నాటికి ఆయనకు కనీసం పంచాయతీని పాలించిన అనుభవం కూడా లేదన్నారు. కానీ ఆ తర్వాత ప్రతి ఎన్నికల్లో గెలిచి రాష్ట్రాన్ని సమర్థవంతంగా పాలించారని పేర్కొన్నారు అమిత్ షా.
मोदी एट 20 ड्रीम मीट डिलीवरी। आज मोदी जी के साथ जिन्होंने सालों तक काम किया है, ऐसे भारत के उपराष्ट्रपति वेंकैया जी के हाथों से इसका लोकार्पण होने वाला है। मैंने पुस्तक को बारीकी से देखा है। मैं इतना ही कह सकता हूं कि जो लोग भारत के सर्वांगीण और सर्वसमावेशी विकास में विश्वास करते हैं, जो लोग एक संपूर्ण व्यक्तित्व किस तरह से निर्मित हो इसके रास्ते पर विश्वास करते हैं, ये सभी लोगों के लिए, विशेषकर समाज सेवा और राजनीति के क्षेत्र में काम करने वाले सभी लोगों के लिए ये पुस्तक एक गीता बनकर आने वाले दिनों में उभरने वाला है। मैं आज इस पुस्तक के अंदर जो अलग अलग चैप्टर लिखे गए हैं इसके बारे में बात नहीं करना चाहता, परंतु पुस्तक जिन पर है इनके बारे में बात करना चाहता हूं। जिस प्रकार का ऑडियंस मेरे सामने है, इन्होंने नरेंद्र मोदी जी को 20 साल से जाना है, देखा है, मोदी जी की सफलताओं को देखा है, मोदी जी के 20 साल हेड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट के नाते भारत में और गुजरात में जिस तरह से परिवर्तन आया है इसको सभी ने देखा है। परंतु मैं राजनीतिक शास्त्र के विद्यार्थी के नाते ये जरूर कहना चाहता हूं कि इसके पीछे जाना चाहिए। मोदी जी के 20 साल का अनुभव, मोदी जी के इसके पहले के 30 साल का जब तक अध्ययन नहीं करते वो अधूरा रह जाएगा। मोदी जी के 5 दशक का सार्वजनिक जीवन एक बिल्कुल गरीबी के आंगन में से उठकर देश के प्रधानमंत्री बनने तक की सफर, एक छोटे से कार्यकर्ता से लेकर सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टियों में सबसे लोकप्रिय नेतृत्व बनने तक की सफर, और कभी पंचायत के सदस्य न रहे हुए व्यक्ति आज पूरा विश्व जिसका नेतृत्व स्वीकार करता है, ऐसे भारत के प्रधानमंत्री बनने तक की सफर। अगर इसको समझना है तो आगे के 30 साल में जरूर जाना चाहिए। मोदी जी के आगे के 30 साल 3 दशक संगठन के अंदर गुजरे। संगठन के कार्यकर्ता के नाते छोटे से छोटे गांव में कभी एसटी बस पर, कभी मोटरसाइकिल पर, कभी ऑटो में बैठकर गरीब से गरीब घर के अंदर इतनी ही साहसिकता से खाना खाते हुए मैंने मोदी जी को देखा है। और जो हम सब लोगों के लिए कुट प्रश्न है कि समस्याओं को समझने का इतनी बड़ी शक्ति मोदी जी में कहां से आती है। नीति निर्धारण करते वक्त छोटे से छोटे व्यक्ति के लिए नीति हो, ये आग्रह कहां से आता है। और नीति सर्वसमावेशी हो, सर्वस्पर्शी हो, ये कुनेह कहां से आती है, उसका जवाब वो 30 साल के अंदर है। पहला हिस्सा उनका जीवन का परिश्रम, संवेदनाओं के साथ समस्याओं को समझना, समस्याओं का विश्लेषण करना और विश्लेषण के आधार पर समस्या का समाधान ढूंढना, ये प्रक्रिया 30 साल चलती है, तब जाकर एक नरेंद्र मोदी सफल मुख्यमंत्री बनता है। लोगों की गरीबी, लोगों की समस्याएं, समाज के अंदर फैली अव्यवस्थाएं, लोकतंत्र के प्रति लोगों का उठता विश्वास, ये देखकर अगर दिल में टीस खड़ी नहीं होती है, एक दर्द खड़ा नहीं होता है, तो दर्द जब तक खड़ा नहीं होता है कोई नरेंद्र मोदी नहीं बन पाता है। ये संवेदनशील स्वभाव उनका जो है, इसी में से टीस की निर्मित, दर्द की निर्मित होती है और उसी में से सभी समस्याओं का समाधान निकला है। भारत के जनमानस को समझना, भारत की समस्याओं को समझना, भारत के समाज की सांस्कृतिक विविधताओं को समझना और समझते समझते भारत की संस्कृति पर अमाप गौरव का दिल में अकल्पनीय स्थान पैदा करना और समस्याओं के समाधान की दिशा में सोचना, इन्होंने एक प्रक्रिया ने ही मोदी जी को आज इस स्थान पर बिठाया है। 20 साल से मोदी जी ने कई उपलब्धियां हासिल की है। ढेर सारे लोगों ने इनका एनालिसिस भी किया है। खास कर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के लिए और गवर्नेंस के लिए मोदी जी ने जो उपलब्धियां हासिल की है, इसका मूल्यांकन बहुत अच्छे तरीके से किया है। मगर मैं एक बात कहना चाहता हूं, एक ऐसे व्यक्ति का मूल्यांकन आप कर रहे हो जिसको मुख्यमंत्री बनने से पहले पंचायत चलाने का भी अनुभव नहीं था। मोदी जी जब मुख्यमंत्री बने उसके पहले कोई चुनाव नहीं लड़े थे, पंचायत के सदस्य भी नहीं थे, और ऐसी व्यक्ति को अचानक भूकंप से पीड़ित एक राज्य का मुख्यमंत्री बना दिया जाता है और उस वक्त बार बार चुनकर आना और इतना यशस्वी तरीके से गवर्नेंस करना, ये बहुत बड़ी अपने आप में उपलब्धि। में ये बात इसलिए कहता हूं कि मूल्यांकन के पैरामीटर्स तय होने चाहिए। गुजरात के अंदर सर्वसमावेशी और सर्वस्पर्शीय विकास हुआ, वो मोदी जी का व्यक्तित्व का परिचय कराता है। गरीबी से गुजरे हुए बचपन के कारण गरीब आदमी की कठिनाइयों और उसकी दिक्कतों से मोदी जी भली भांति परिचित थे। उन्होंने मुख्यमंत्री बनने के बाद संवेदनशील तरीके से समाज के अंतिम व्यक्ति के लिए योजनाएं कैसे बन सकती है और योजनाओं को बनाकर अंतिम व्यक्ति तक किस तरह से पहुंचा जा सकता है, इसका एक उत्कृष्ट उदाहरण लोगों के सामने दिया है। मित्रों, योजनाओं के बारे में मैं जरूर थोड़ी बात करना चाहूंगा। मोदी जी की योजनाओं का अनेक प्रकार का विश्लेषण हो सकता है, मगर उन्होंने योजनाओं को लोकाभिमुख बनाया है। गुजरात के कृषि महोत्सव के मॉडल का जो स्टडी करेगा उसको मालूम पड़ेगा कि परिवर्तन किस प्रकार से आता है। गुजरात के कृषि महोत्सव की परंपरा ने सिद्ध कर दिया कि लोकतंत्र को जवाबदेह, लोकतंत्र में एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को जवाबदेह बनाया जा सकता है। हर गांव में कृषि महोत्सव का रथ पहुंचता था और जो सरकारी मदद लेने के लिए किसानों को तहसील लेवल पर और जिला लेवल पर बार बार जाना पड़ता था, वो सरकारी मदद उन्हीं के गांव के अंदर पहुंचाने की शुरुआत एक कृषि महोत्सव ने की। तो उन्होंने योजनाओं को लोकाभिमुख बनाया। मोदी जी ने योजनाओं के साइज और स्केल दोनों को बदलने का काम किया और योजनाओं को संपूर्ण समस्या के उन्मूलन की दिशा में प्रेरित किया। जैसे पहले योजनाएं बनती थी, इस बजट में इतने गांवों के अंदर बिजली पहुंचाएंगे, इस बजट में इतने घरों के अंदर बिजली पहुंचाएंगे, इस बजट में इतने शौचालय बनाएंगे, इस बजट में इतने लोगों को स्वास्थ्य कार्ड देंगे। मोदी जी की योजनाओं का अगर आप स्टडी करेंगे, तो अब संख्या नहीं होती है, समस्या का संपूर्ण उन्मूलन होता है। देश में हर घर में बिजली पहुंचाएंगे, देश में हर घर में आज शौचालय पहुंचाएंगे, देश के हर घर में गैस का सिलेंडर पहुंचाएंगे, देश के हर घर में पीने का पानी नल से पहुंचाएंगे। समस्याओं का संपूर्ण उन्मूलन ये उनकी योजनाओं का विशेषता रहा और एक दृष्टि से साइज और स्केल दोनों को मोदी जी ने परिवर्तित किया है।
8 ఏళ్ల మోదీ ప్రభుత్వం ఉగ్రవాదంపై అంతర్జాతీయ చర్చకు నేతృత్వం వహిస్తోందన్నారు విదేశాంగ మంత్రి జయశంకర్. ఆయన అభివృద్ధి ఆధారిత దౌత్యం సహా భద్రతా సవాళ్లను అధిగమించేందుకు సరిహద్దుల్లో మౌలిక వస్తువులపై దృష్టి సారించినట్లు చెప్పారు. వాణిజ్యంలోనూ ప్రత్యేక దృష్టితో $400 బిలియన్ ఎగుమతులు చేసినట్లుగా కేంద్ర మంత్రి జయశంకర్ పేర్కొన్నారు.
It's a great privilege to be a contributor to this volume that marks 20 years in government of Shri Narendra Modi ji. I have obviously contributed on the foreign policy impact that he's had over the last 8 years. And in doing so, tried to trace the influence of his Gujarat years on his foreign policy. And what I present really from the analysis of these 8 years are the new concepts, the aspirations, the vision, the strategy that he has brought to bear in this domain. Perhaps the right starting point for my remarks today would be my first encounter with him. And this was 10 years ago, 11 years ago, November 2011. I was ambassador in China, and he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, visiting China, as many chief ministers did at that time. And we were used in the embassy to chief ministers. But this one was very different. It was very different because he arrived after midnight. He wanted his first briefing meeting at 7 o'clock in the morning. He ran a 12-hour day with a half-an-hour lunch break. And he proceeded to cover 3 cities, I think, in 4 days. And of course, today, this is standard operating procedure for all of us. But at that time, it was a discovery. And it wasn't just a grueling schedule which I recall from that visit. He did something very unusual as Chief Minister. He asked me to brief him on our security posture vis-a-vis China. At that time, we were having problems, some of you may recall, stapled visas, border map projections, and the terrorism. And the point he made was, I may be Chief Minister of Gujarat, but I'm a citizen of India. When I go outside, I will not be 1 millimeter different from what is our national stance. The second was, again, chief ministers typically come to promote their states, but he was worried about the economic imbalance between India and China. And the third recollection I have, 11 years ago, we had some Indian citizens, they happened to be jewelers from Gujarat, who were in prison in China at that time. And he was very concerned about getting them released. Now, I remember those 3 aspects because in a way, I would say they were my first outline of what his thinking was about foreign policy. And today, when I look at what is the difference that he has made, he has really led a foreign policy which is much more security focused. He has practiced a diplomacy which is more development focused. He has created people-centric policies in foreign policy. And he has run a foreign policy of a civilizational state. So let me very quickly fast forward 8 years. and run through each of these 4 themes. National security emphasis. The 8 years of Modi Sarkar has brought terrorism fair square at the center of the global debate. And he has concentrated on developing the border infrastructure because he knows that is essential to meet our security challenges. So it could be Uri and Balakot, it could be Doklam and Ladakh. But you can see today, this is not a country that shies away from its hard security challenges. Let me talk about diplomacy for development. I think if you look in terms of his efforts to get capital, technology, best practices from the world, the interest that he takes in trade, he actually addressed every one of our embassies in pursuit of a goal of reaching $400 billion of exports. The effort which he makes to move funds so that their investment in India generates employment. When he goes abroad, he looks at railways, he looks at EVs, he looks at environment, green projects, with a view of what is it he can take back to India. So it is very much that quest for development is very much at the heart of what he does abroad. As for being people-centric, I think each one of you will know how much easier it is today to get a passport, how he has cut through layers of bureaucracy, made it so much simpler. How he actually imagined that we would use post offices who in this day and age were less relevant, as passport collection centers. A very good example actually of minimum government, maximum governance. And in terms of the people centricity, I think you saw the Vande Bharat mission during the COVID. Operation Ganga, which was referred to, Operation Devi Shakti, that today an Indian going abroad knows that we have their back, that in whatever situation of distress, we are there for them. And that is a huge change in the country's profile, in the confidence that citizens have about us, and in the view that the world has about us. And this is also reflected in his diaspora policies, in his Diaspora Connect, beginning with Madison Square Garden. In fact, in my chapter, I describe what was the conversation we had which led to the Madison Square Garden program. And our effort today at migration and mobility agreements so that our people can work abroad, because Prime Minister Modi sees the world not just as a marketplace, but as a global workplace. And a lot of his foreign policy efforts are in that direction.